All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending the kickoff or the information session for the NSBE Junior Twin Cities chapter. My name is Michael Wolf, and I am one of the adults that helped form the NSBE Twin Cities, NSBE Junior Twin Cities chapter. As also the founder of the Minnesota STEM Partnership, we have a lot of students. I see a lot of students in the public high schools, and the purpose of this video is really to share with you basic information from the local Twin Cities chapter perspective on what is NSBE, what is NSBE Junior, how can it help your student achieve bigger and greater things. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the meeting today, and I'm going to dispense with a lot of the initial welcoming and individual introductions, and we're going to jump right into it. Our current president is Khalil Stovall, because Khalil is actually studying, and I don't know if he's going to be able to make it, but he did say he would try to attend. However, one thing that the president and/or designate does at all NSBE meetings is to start out with the NSBE mission statement. So if all of you can either read along or at least understand and immerse yourself in the words, is really NSBE's mission is to increase the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. And that's what this chapter in NSBE is all about. In September of 2021, these are the founding members at that time. Our meeting protocol, we start off our meetings in which we came out of COVID doing a lot of virtual meetings. In many cases, it's a very easy way to deploy general membership information. However, today or going forward, we will have in-person events. We do ask that students do turn their cameras on as much as possible. We won't necessarily enforce it today, but we do want the members to see each other. Today's session should last approximately 1 hour. It is not going to last the entire time. However, we will allow time for introductions and other information. However, I'm going to make some key introductions here. I want to have the previous president of the NSBE professional chapter, Ray Smith-Bird, as well as the current chapter president, introduce themselves very briefly, if you don't mind. Ray, would you mind introducing yourself? And I know you're in the car.
Sure. Happy. Yep, I can speak briefly. My name is Ray Smith-Bird, previous president of NSBE Twin Cities Professionals Chapter. My background is actually in industrial and operations engineering. Currently, I work at Target, and I work in new store development, so building the strategy for where we put new Target stores. Currently, I no longer live in Minneapolis, but I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm still heavily involved with NSBE as I serve as the Collegiate Initiatives Chair for the Charlotte Professionals.
And Ray, let me put you on the spot. What one thing do you really love about NSBE?
One thing that I really love about NSBE is how diverse of a field that you, and all the things you can get from just being a part of NSBE. So I've been involved with NSBE since a freshman in college, and NSBE has been, my study partners. They've also been, my family away from my family when I moved to a new state in Minnesota. Just being able to find new community, being able to develop professionally. There's all the different resources that NSBE offers, including being able to find friends and a network.
Fantastic. And Bailey, would you, or I should say, Madam President, would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Okay. Hi, my name is Bailey Hadnot. I'm the current president of the NSBE Twin Cities Professional Chapter. I've been president since 2021, and I'm finishing up my second term as president in 2023. My background is environmental engineering, and I currently work at a company that deals with environmental consulting for a variety of clients for water and wastewater issues. I've been a member of NSBE since my college days back in about 2012, I believe. So happy to be here.
And Bailey, what one thing do you love about NSBE?
I would say it's the impact. I mean, I think it's hard to see all the different moving parts inside of NSBE, but just the general impact that it has of going to conferences, getting these talented engineers jobs they deserve, getting access to, students and their high school students, getting them access to all these things that can help build themselves up and build confidence for their careers. I think it's just the impact that the group itself has nationally and internationally is pretty cool and like amazingly impressive every year. So that's my favorite part about being a member for sure.
Fantastic. And to recap real briefly, we're not going to do introductions around the entire room. However, I do want to recognize Franz Joseph. He is our pre-collegiate, which is with pre-collegiate initiative, or PCI. You'll notice in a lot of the meetings for the adults, the parents, and the others on the call, we use a lot of acronyms. So Franz, how are you doing today?
Hi, everybody. Good to see all of you. I'm doing really well. Thank you, Dr. Wolf. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. So today, and Franz, I want to thank you very much for all of the help that you've given me to help enable the chapter to do some really great things. Franz would be an integral part of this, but today we are doing more or less a information session kickoff to share and answer a lot of the questions that we get from the public schools, from Minnesota STEM Partnership kids, from kids in the community. What is NSBE and how can NSBE Junior, in particular this chapter, benefit them? So Franz, as our PCI liaison to the professional chapter, please feel free to jump in, as well as any NSBE member. I may call on you just in case there is an opportunity for you to share, but certainly I am not the single wealth of knowledge. Everybody here has input that they can provide. We're recording this so that we can give this message back out to other students that want to hear what NSBE is and what NSBE Junior is. So I'll get back to the sharing the screen. And as we go forward here, hopefully everybody can see the agenda. Today, we're hoping to move through the agenda at a relatively good clip. Should take approximately an hour, and certainly any NSBE member that wants to participate and share their background or their experience briefly, certainly feel free to jump in. We run across a lot of opportunities for information to really share it in a way that the parents and the adults, guardians can understand it, so that they know that there's a competitive advantage for the students, for their students. And at the student level, we also want to talk a little bit about like the fun and the exciting, but even more importantly, besides the community that they'd be joining, but as an individual, what does joining NSBE mean to them? So we're going to go on with the agenda is to cover what is NSBE on a national level, regional level, local level, from professional, collegiate, and junior, as well as what the local NSBE Junior Twin Cities chapter and their objectives are going to be. I know Franz and I have been meeting. I've been promising to give Franz, the PCI, the pre-collegiate initiative advisor, some of these details. However, I have not succeeded. So Franz, today we're going to unveil it. The day will be the great unveiling. So we're going to proceed. So at a national level, it's organized from a national perspective. On a regional perspective, the United States are chopped up into different regions. And on a local level, just want to highlight that there is a professional chapter, and the adults that are in here are predominantly from the Twin Cities professional chapter, and there are also chapters at a variety of universities around the state. The National Society of Black Engineers is really a very powerful organization. They're over, I don't know what the current numbers are, but if any member has it, but I know that they were at least 40,000 plus, heavily on the student, heavily on the collegiate perspective. They get together. There's a national convention that happens every year. This year it's in March. As a matter of fact, it's organized not only just from a national perspective, but they also have regional staff. And they're very big on hiring NSBE members to help disseminate and distribute and manage the regions, as there are a lot of members within NSBE. It's comprised of professionals, students, and other associates. It's non-discriminatory. However, it is African-American focused, African and African-American or Black folks focused. It has, it's college run. I think that was one of the unique things about the national organization that I learned, heavily college run. And also it is governed heavily through the collegiate ranks. Although we have professional chapters, they really provide a predominant oversight, vision, and support to the collegiate and the other chapters, as well as doing their own programs. Generally, NSBE chapters are also public charities. They're 501c3s. And as the go out to the convention site here, just real briefly, students will have an opportunity to participate in the convention. There are so many sponsors. There are so many opportunities to attend. If you're interested, you can go out and look at the upcoming convention, NSBE 49, looking for that hashtag. Certainly through what we'll end up with for the students, the parents and the guardians that are on the call, we do have discounts as student members. So if your student is interested in going, we are looking at doing some things, but I'll cover that when we get to the programs part of the NSBE Junior chapter. Anyway, to know that this resource exists, you can just go to the NSBE website or the convention website. And certainly you can start out right at nsbe.org and you can drill down. Everything you're going to find that relates to us in particular is going to be under the K-12, kindergarten through 12th grade. So you'll see different camps, you'll see education opportunities. In particular, to highlight that at the main NSBE site, you can also look for scholarships, summer jobs, and a whole lot more. The programs that are all there, many of the adults and guardians that we deal with are involved with First Lego League and other activities like math counts. We have many, many other opportunities to get into programs with NSBE. However, just know that that resource exists. At a regional level, we are Region 4. Region 4 proud, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the buzzwords. I'll tell you what, my observation of joining NSBE was absolutely hype. It was the most exciting opportunity when I had a chance to go to a convention, but the sense of pride and the sense of community that students get by being part of this organization is absolutely fantastic. We are comprised of these states in yellow, and if I'm not mistaken, Region 4 is gold. As you can see, the other regions have different colors. So as you go through and you see different NSBE logos, what I've seen too is the E really sometimes indicates what region they're from. And so from those regions, we're unable to, within those regions, you can tell by gold is Region 4, Region 2, 1, Region 3, all those have different colors. So just kind of a little insider tip there. And on a local level, we have college chapters. So within the state of Minnesota, I'm familiar with some of these and not totally familiar with the others. So I may have to lean on Franz to provide some of this information, or Bailey, anyone. But I know we have a strong chapter at the University of Minnesota, University of St. Thomas, as well as Mankato State. And are there other NSBE collegiate chapters by any chance to any of the members?
There's, I think, some activity at University of Minnesota Duluth, I think, as well. I think that's the main one I know about that isn't on this list, but they're growing and changing, I would say, every year as well. So I think it depends maybe what year you ask also, but
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So now to the local level. Well, before we go any further, do we have any college students online by any chance? All right. So now we can talk a little bit about NSBE Junior Twin Cities. We have a mailing address, we have phone number, we have a website, email, and certainly you can go out there, you can register. We are looking to link that up with the national site. Right now, our membership, we in terms of the local NSBE Junior chapter, are leveraging our fiscal agent, the Minnesota STEM Partnership. They're able to get donations and help the programs run. So there is a way to register and gather initial information. However, we are looking and working through the national website to make sure that we can access our membership and also communicate quickly and directly with you. At some point in time in the future, all students will register through the NSBE National website, and then the Minnesota STEM partnership will back away. So there is plenty of opportunities for students to register. Matter of fact, while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can drop this in the link. All right. We'll get to this at the end, but there is a Google form that we did set up. And if anyone has students that want to register for NSBE that aren't currently already connected to me, please feel free to share that link. So for the programs or the meetings, in general, being part of NSBE means that you will have a monthly activity. Right now, it could be a workshop, it could be Zoom career professional. However, we are looking to do more engagement and more hands-on experience. So in February, in particular on February 25th, certainly Ray, if you're on, if you care to share anything, Target has volunteered and is organizing this incredible experience for the students. We have a limit of 30 students, I believe, that can register and participate in this. We're looking for students that are predominantly 5th grade and up, or in middle school in particular. We want as many students as possible, but it is not designed or geared for very young students. Ray, while we're on the upcoming February program, is there anything that you'd like to share? Otherwise, I can give a couple of other little nuggets of information.
I'm happy to talk about it briefly. So we are putting on for Black History Month, what we're calling the Target Forward Design Challenge. And what we're looking to do is expose younger students to what engineering looks like at Target. Because when you think about Target, you don't automatically think, oh, they hire engineers, right? So what we want to do is expose to a group of 5th to 9th grade students the different areas that an engineer can play a factor at Target. So we're including our Target tech areas. So that's our data and kind of computer software engineering. We also have our supply chain area. I work in properties. So we have construction engineers, right? We have a lot of different facilities that we own, supply chain buildings, actual stores. Those require engineers to design and maintain them as well. And then we also have product development, quality, so many different areas that engineers work in. So we're exposing younger students kind of in a day in the life of what that looks like. And we're going to do it in a fun and engaging way where you get to create an idea or a concept in teams of about 3 to 5 students and kind of create an idea that aligns with our sustainability goals. So you get to learn more about what sustainability looks like at Target. And yeah, you'll get exposed to engineers all across Target's different areas that I just spoke to. And it'll be fun. We'll have food. We'll be there on a Saturday morning. So we're doing Saturday, February 25th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at one of our Target facilities in Brooklyn Park. And it'll be a great experience. Looking forward to seeing a lot of students sign up and showing you all what Target is all about.
Ray, thank you very much. In the upcoming month after that, we will be at our Minneapolis location, or one of the hub locations, with the Northrop Grumman company. They've stepped forward and they want to talk about embedded systems, rocket guidance systems. They're going to bring in some hands-on activities, all age appropriate. So they will not be launching missiles or launching drones anywhere. However, that is also going to be an absolutely incredible hands-on experience for our students. Also in March, we have the National Convention. And as you know, the Minnesota STEM Partnership is really big on robotics. However, we are looking at forming a FLL, First Lego League Dream Team, to take 3 to 5 students to Kansas City this year. Convention 49 is in Kansas City, Missouri. And we're looking at trying to identify a few students and a small contingency to be able to go down and represent the First Lego League. Now that's assuming that it's in person. There's a lot of assumptions that we're working through as we engage with the national organization. In general, after that, we have many sponsors and many companies that are looking at locking in dates. Young Environmental, for example, I'm hoping to reach out to representatives at BAR, Young Environmental, and maybe host an environmental engineering type of panel in April. As the weather gets better, it's always a good time to talk about that, as well as other civil engineering type roles. May, another general meeting. The meetings will be well run, structured. They'll be supervised by adults as well as speakers and others from the adult and collegiate chapters. And then in general, although we haven't locked in a number of these activities, generally summertime, it looks like we might be taking a break. A lot of the students, they have busy lifestyles and they're working and all these other type of things. However, something interesting hit the radar, and Ray, thanks to Ray and others that have been talking about us doing summer camps. NSBE is well known for its, the summer student engineering experience camp. And so SEEK is well known throughout the nation. It's a 3-week camp. It's fully sponsored and subsidized by NSBE and a bunch of sponsors that are local to the Twin Cities. So we have a great opportunity potentially to engage heavily with that. We also are looking at doing, depending on where the SEEK program goes, doing our own summer engineering engagement experience. It is highly probable that we will be working directly with Franklin Middle School. We will have an office there, and they're very excited about having initially the Minnesota STEM partnership there, but the NSBE Junior chapter, they're kind of geeked about it as kind of a generational term I'm familiar with. But they're like ultra excited the fact that they can introduce their students, which they are the STEAM or STEM school right in North Minneapolis, and they're all in. No matter what happens with Minnesota STEM, they still want NSBE Junior. So we're looking at setting up a hub there for their students and the collective, if not base camp, for our Twin Cities chapter. In September, we generally will onboard and introduce the new officers, and obviously there's some process and protocol that happens for June and July. Those new officers will come on board. And by the way, for any of the adults or guardians that are here, if you have a student that you think is very interested in becoming an officer and wants to develop leadership skills, this is a great, safe place for them to do it. I'm guessing that there are some age requirements. We typically are looking for high school students, or at least students that have developed some level of either maturity, technical prowess, etc. Although all are welcome, we are looking forward to identifying some key students and bringing them on as officers. On through the fall, there's a Region 4. It either happens in October or November, and also general meetings. We haven't filled out the calendar yet, but we certainly will. There's always a bountiful number of opportunities to present engineering opportunities to our students. Doing a quick time check, it's 3:28. Activities, I did not finish the long list of activities. However, we do want to have meaningful activities that will challenge the students. There will be a variety of very basic entry-level exploratory opportunities for our younger students, as well as our new students, as well as some advancing opportunities that I think will be very important for them to participate in. If we go out to the NSBE Junior website or to the national site, there are a ton of programs that are existing and in place. We are looking to introduce and indoctrinate a number of those. I've been talking to a number of math teachers. It looks like we will get together a math counts team for the fall competition. We're looking at all of the NSBE programs. However, these are the ones that we know that we're likely going to land on right away. On-site corporate field trips like Ray had mentioned, going to Target, as well as other companies. I think that was a very rich opportunity for me as growing up, being able to see where people work, what they do. And then over time, as our students are in the program multiple years, they'll really start to become very immersed into this world. Community engagement, it's very big for us to do outreach to the community. Last year, and also through other activities, the NSBE Twin Cities professional chapter, Madam President, Madam Bailey, has participated in with us and has been at every single event that we've been at, from Juneteenth to the Summer STEAM experience at the Mall of America, as well as many other the professional chapter members. So we're hoping to identify these activities in advance and have strong showings for our NSBE students as well as partnering heavily with the professional chapter. We currently do run robotics and other types of tournaments. One other area that we are looking at getting into is somewhat similar to what most NSBE members may be familiar with 1080 racing. However, we are looking at doing an AI program. One of the things that we do want to do is also have opportunities for our students that are challenging. And so these activities like First Lego League, like First Tech Challenge, different robotics programs are great, but there's also layers above it. And we want to be able to not only just focus in on the technology side of it, but also deepen their opportunities to take engineering concepts, technology concepts, and more towards a direction in a future that we're able to currently support. Over time, we're looking at canvassing all engineering areas as possible. This year, we are going to focus in on some of the things that are a little bit closer to their support structure and the sweet spot for them. So, and also too, certainly if we have any sponsors on the call or partners, Rob Lyons is on the call. And Rob, I'm just going to put you on the spot real quick. Rob is with the Senna Foundation. And Rob, do you want to introduce a synopsis of your students or the programs if you are on mic? Do you want to share a little bit about the Senna Foundation and maybe your interest in this?
Yeah, I'm Rob Lyons. I'm the director over at the Sane Center in East St. Paul, the former Conway Community Center. And Tony Sane is the executive director for the Sane Foundation. And we're a youth development organization, very excited about bringing 21st century learning opportunities to kids on the east side of St. Paul. Specifically partnered up with Minnesota STEM Partnership and Dr. Wolf to introduce kids to robotics using Lego Robotics, Spike Prime, coding, as well as drones and the AI experience. So we're excited to introduce them to those things because a lot of the kids never even see themselves represented in those areas, let alone think that that's something that's for them. So I'm very excited about the partnership we have with Mike and the things that we're able to offer the kids over at the center on the east side.
Thanks, Rob. I have to owe you $5. That was a perfect introduction to the next topic that I was going to bring up, which was talking about the hub locations and how we're going to broaden participation for NSBE Junior and grow membership locally. Rob, I'll make a commitment right now to you. Any students that want to step forward and become NSBE members, maybe you have older students that want to be leaders. We're looking at establishing groups or hub locations to be able to grow the NSBE Twin Cities Junior Chapter and also have more students getting access to our local professionals, the national professionals. And so the Twin Cities Professional Chapter, which, you know, Bailey has spoken as well as Ray, and you've met Franz, is that our dream is to be able to impact and influence as many students as possible. So you represent one body of students. We also have, there's a brother named Johnny Allen Jr., AKA the JK Movement, or Johnny Knuckles, I think was his name, but being able to hit pockets of students in mass. And so rather than the onesie twosie approach or through general attraction through parents and family and the, you know, known connections, those are going to happen anyway, because there's going to be many opportunities for our adult members to be able to bring their children into the fold and participate. But as we know, like our professional teachers, you know, you have to have someone focused in on their particular groups. And so I'm committed to having at least over 100 members this year for the NSBE Junior Chapter. That includes Rob, your group, if you're interested in having a few students, Franklin Middle School, Minnesota STEM, the JK Movement, and there's also other organizations that are doing incredible work. And we haven't even begun to look at tapping into local rec centers and community centers across the Twin Cities. However, we're not going to bite off too big of a piece of the apple, but we are going to make sure that we do our very best to at least expose and influence students of color about NSBE. And there are many, many students that are going to be very interested in participating in this, as well as potentially at the Minneapolis Public School District level. I won't go into this, but there are many examples of the type of things that the students will learn, in addition to just some known basic things. The engineering process, right? Being able to understand the iterative process, understanding the break fix portion of this, and to know that it's okay to get frustrated. The professional development elements out of this are absolutely incredible. Firsthand, I've seen our students, the younger students, and even, you know, pushing 18, 20-year-old that haven't had to put in the grit and the perseverance, the trial and error. Things are, you know, a lot easier now than they were in my generation. But to me, this process is a lifelong learning process. Madam President has spoken on this many times at our different areas, but I would ask the adult members from the Twin Cities professional chapter. We've asked a couple to say, hey, what did they really appreciate? But I'm going to ask, the question is, what one thing do you think that a student will learn, if just one thing, by being an NSBE Junior Twin Cities chapter member? Is there anyone that would like to share their experience or knowledge? And that's okay, because, you know, generally NSBE members aren't shy. I've been to the professional chapter meetings. They are definitely not shy. So I commit to you that the NSBE professional chapter has a lot of members that are in there that are excited to grow their own careers at an early career professional level, as well as seasoned, mature members. So I won't put anybody else on the spot, but I will say that we're moving at a pretty good clip. So it looks like we are going to end and wrap up early. So what I'd like to do is open it up to anyone on the call that may have questions. And what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to
Hey, Dr. Wolf,
stop recording. Yes, Ray.
going back to your question, was your question about the students and like what they would gain from joining the NSBE Junior chapter? Is that what the question is?
Yes. What would the students gain by joining the NSBE Junior chapter? The one thing I did narrow it down to one thing, but what would a student learn?
Got you. Yeah, I would say that joining the NSBE Junior chapter just opens the world of possibilities to you in terms of understanding the world around you. So engineers, we question why things work the way that they do. That's kind of the beauty of engineering. We like to understand, we like to learn, we like to go deeper than typically how people look at the world, right? We like to understand the functionality of things. So if you're a student, you're curious, you have a lot of questions about the world, we like to teach you about gravity. You'll learn in terms of why things fall at the rate that they fall, right? You'll learn why the world around us operates and how it operates, and be able to utilize that to your advantage and how you navigate your daily life in terms of going into the workspace, in terms of going into your schooling as well. So the things that we're teaching you in our STEM challenges is going to help you in your classroom, right? You're going to be able to learn different tips and tricks for how to solve your math problems, how to do your homework a little bit faster, right? Because you're steadily engaging, and we're going to keep you guessing, keep you questioning the world, and you'll stay curious. So I like to say that, yeah, STEM opens the mind up. It helps you understand the world around you. If you're a curious student, you like to ask questions, I would say joining NSBE Junior is the best thing that you can do.
That was awesome, Ray. That was absolutely awesome. All right. I am going to hit the stop recording button here. I thank everyone for attending. Let me just make sure here. We do have one student, I believe, Isaac. Can you briefly introduce yourself?